This is GARIS, Masculist MGTOW flyers. That is 2 3-page essays on the themes of masculism and MGTOW, written by and read aloud by Prof. Dr. Hugo de Garis. This is flyer number 371, entitled The Masculist Tirade of Tens. This is part 2. So carrying straight on. Masculists see fluffy feminists as hypocrites, since it is bad enough that these feminists are fluffies and hence manslavers, but they are also hypocrites because they want equal rights with men in the parliaments, but reject equal obligations with men in sharing the burden of earning the living by behaving as fluffy parasites in the divorce courts, by not having bothered to fip up at high school and college in getting career competent educations so that they can behave as financially responsible fips as adults and not expect to parasite of some gullible manslave's money. Masculists have a particular hatred against the fluffy feminists, seeing them as indirect genociders, since the fluffy feminists have made divorce so toxic for men, in brackets, for example, stripping his kids from him with a 90% probability, losing his house to his fluffy ex-wife so she can raise her kids in it, being forced to make child payments to kids he will only see twice a month in the weekends, forced to pay alimony for life if his ex-wife is a real fluffy, losing half his stuff to her, in brackets. That in many countries now, 2/3 of young men see modern marriage such a shitty deal for men that they reject it, reject paternity, and spend their money on themselves. Thus, these fluffy feminist hypocrites are indirect genociders, so have to be stopped, with bullets if necessary. The alternative to a sex war, in stopping the population crash, where masculist soldiers go out into the streets and simply shoot feminazis, that is, monoconscious, fluffy feminist hypocrites / genociders, is to intellectually crush the core feminazi beliefs, that is, those feminist beliefs that are scientifically false, that fill the heads of young princess snowflakes, so that a princess snowflake simply expects that by wiggling her fanny at a young man, she can manslave him, have him work for her. Masculists aim to intellectually crush this fluffy feminist PC bullshit by preaching masculist science to women, and to intellectually arm young men with masculist ideas and rhetoric so that they, in turn, can harangue the fluffies and fluffy feminists in their social circles, pushing them hard to fip up, to become bi-conscious, or pay a very heavy price, that is, by becoming manless, hence sexless, loveless, babyless, and spat at. So we now come to the moment when masculist anti-PC, anti-fluffy feminist, anti-feminazi facts can be listed, to be used with good effect by young masculists against their feminazi enemies. What is intriguing about these masculist science-based facts is that in many instances they involve the number 10, hence the coining of the phrase, the Masculist Tirade of the 10. Here is a list of 5 such masculist science-based 10 facts. 1. Men have 10% larger brains than women. 2. Hence men have 10 billion more neurons than women. 3. Hence men have 10% more neuronal processing capacity than women. So it's not surprising that women build nothing, invent nothing, create nothing. Women evolved to grow and raise kids, not to understand and manipulate the world. Women evolved to manipulate and parasite off men. Since women could not hunt, they were stuck at home raising helpless infants and depended critically on men to bring home the meat that women and their babies depended on. 4. Women have a 10% lower IQ variance than men. That is, men's IQ scores are more spread out than women's. Women's are more bunched up, so that the morons and the genii are males. So it's not surprising that men have won 99%. that is, all but one of 10 times 10 Science Nobel Prizes. 5. Women have 10 times lower testosterone levels than men, so that men are much more aggressive, ambitious, driven, dogged, persistent than women. So men achieve far more by sticking at difficult tasks, whereas women are more wishy-washy, giving up more easily, and hence deserve their inferior status in society, since women contribute so much less than men. If women want to be given the same status level as men by society, then women will have to perform at male levels. But that will be difficult for women, given their above genetic inferiorities and their 4 IQ point lower average IQs than men's, a result of women's sexual selection of smarter men over thousands of generations. The above 5 scientifically verified facts should be known to any thinking person of both sexes, so that feminazi isscienacy can be defeated, so that men can be liberated from manslavery, so that whole populations need not be wiped out due to the fluffy feminist hypocrisy in the divorce courts, so that princess snowflakes can have their inflated egos pricked and return to reality, so that men can feel safe to be fathers again, so that the paternity rejection right can be legislated, so that men can be given the intellectual arms to lash out at monoconscious feminazi bitchery, haranguing such feminazis out of the room with angry masculist rhetoric, telling such feminazis that women oppress men far worse than vice versa, by destroying the core ideas of the third wave feminists, who are out to gain power for women at men's expense, by treating men as cash machines to be robbed and abused, especially in the divorce courts, which are the real crime scenes against men today. Masculists advise young men to memorize these 10 facts and to arm themselves with this knowledge so that they can crush the insufferable arrogance they are inflicted with by young princess snowflakes who feel they are morally superior and intellectually more capable than men. By knowing such 10 facts, young men can intellectually crush their female classmates in high schools and fellow students at universities. These 10 facts need not be confined to the younger generation. Whenever masculists of any age come across isscienacy, innumerate, feminazi, PC bullshit, they can hurl back these masculist 10 facts that they have memorized to crushing effect, forcing the monoconscious feminazis to shut up or be verbally very aggressively harangued out of the room by hateful masculists who are out to rid society of feminazi genocide in the divorce courts, and to give men, especially young men, real pride in being male by showing them the scientifically verified facts that men are the superior sex, outperforming women across the board. Monoconscious feminists may choose to live in a deluded, isscienacy fairyland, believing what feminists preach to them about women's equal abilities with men and the need to destroy the patriarchy, that is, general male dominance, which indirectly women created with their hypogamy. But masculists are more realistic, more scientific, caring more about the realities, even if these realities may be a bitter pill for women to swallow, just as blacks are forced to accept that they are the dumbest people in the world, as shown by the World IQ map. Masculists, being men, are more reality-based, less wishful thinking than are women, who lap up feminazi preaching, being told by feminists that what they desperately want to hear, that is, that women are men's equals, and that the future is female, with women poised to take power and to destroy the patriarchy. Those men who have memorized the above 10 facts will be able to help destroy these monoconscious feminazi delusions, because that is what they are, as delusional as the religionists' belief in a life after death or virgin births, etc., and as delusional as the flat earthers' denial of the evidence shown them by their eyes when seeing images taken from the ISS International Space Station, of the round Earth with its distant curving surface. To masculists, monoconscious, isscienacy feminists are as delusional as these latter two groups, and hence, like them, are truly 21st century peasants. Cheers. Prof. Dr. Hugo de Garis. Email profhugodegaris@yahoo.com. Website profhugodegaris.wordpress.com. Author of the book Masculism, Men's Rebellion Against Being Manslaves to Women, an e-textbook of 370 plus masculist flyers for men's studies courses. Freely downloadable in Microsoft Word format from my website. Ciao.